Iris, like my own wife, I think you are a stellar example of this.
Thank you.
No, thank you for what you have done for your family, but also what you have done for our country in supporting your husband and your family. And thank you. And obviously, thank you for coming on here today to teach all of us about a subject that we all need to know more about, not just abuse, but also determination. And on top of that, determination to overcome what you experienced in your life, but the determination to keep a family together and protect the protectors.
Well, it's been a incredible honor to be here, and thank you guys for stepping out of the box a little bit with me and getting this out there and talking about some of this stuff. And I love, what you wrote to your daughter, and your wife is still stunningly beautiful and very kind.
She is indeed. And it's, having you on the podcast was a no-brainer. I probably waited 3 or 4 months to broach the subject with your husband. I was waiting for the right moment, and he said something to me about it, and I was like, hey, if she ever just happens to want to come on, let me know. And he answered me in 30 seconds. And it wasn't his answer. He said, I just talked to her. She's good to go. I was like, yes. So it's been great having you on the podcast.
Huge honor. Thank you, guys.
Well, speaking of the podcast.
Sure.
Echo Charles. I mean, if somebody wanted to support this podcast, is there any way they can do that?
Yeah, there is, actually. This is kind of the, we talk about these heavy things. This is kind of the time to decompress a little bit, right?
A little bit.
We can talk about supporting the podcast.
That's a good way to decompress.
Yeah, I think so. Most of the time. Let's talk about supporting ourselves now. Because actually a lot of it, like being like a strong military wife and all this stuff, even just a normal.
And this, I'm going to say this too. I didn't say this. There's military husbands as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And they're doing all that stuff that I talked about. I was talking about wives because that's what I deal with. I dealt with my wife, and you're a military wife. The guys that are out there holding down the fort, and also there's guys that are married to police officers. I know that gets flipped sometimes, and respect.
Yeah.
Respect. Equally challenging for anybody that's holding down the fort at home. So.
Yeah, it's the concept, right?
Yes.
A lot of times, especially when you're dealing with kids and, the responsibility is on me or whatever. And I mentioned this before, where it's easy to fall into that kind of mindset where you're making it about yourself now, where you have kids and it's like, hey, I changed the diaper last time,
Mm-hmm.
But if you notice, you're talking about yourself now. The diaper got to get changed regardless, but you're like focusing on the fact that you had to do it, kind of thing. So not that you're wrong, but you chose to make it about yourself. So the less you make it about yourself and more about the mission, the family, the whatever it is that you're doing, the stronger you're going to have the capability to be, you can solve the problems and, accomplish the mission. Anyway, so that being said, let's make it about ourselves for a second by supporting ourselves. So this is kind of a flip. How you switch it. How like in the airplane they say support yourself before you support the kid.
Yeah, you got to put the oxygen.
You got to put the oxygen. You know what I mean? Because if you support yourself, you have more capability of supporting others.
True thing.
True story, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why, the stronger you
Echo's
are.
all excited. He's got Iris over here. She's agreeing.
Yeah,
She's in the game with him. Echo's blowing me off. Now you're looking at me. He's talking to Iris now.
Because she knows she mentioned alpha brain, all these things. And I started taking more alpha brain, by the way.
I think I noticed that today. You were sharp, man.
Well,
you were crisp with the thoughts.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I felt like I was a bit distracted. Not necessarily here, but just in life. I couldn't focus on the thing that I need.
Like making videos?
Or what? No, I've been making videos, bro.
I've noticed that. That's good. That's good.
Man.
We like that.
Anyway, if you're working out, you want supplementation, you want some support in the workout, which actually I'm down for now. I wasn't a supplement person before, as I said before. But now I am, because there's supplements like krill oil. You know strong bone?
Yeah.
Is that for like bones too?
It might be, but I don't know. My bones seem strong. I don't break them very often, but my joints want help. So I take it for the joints.
Yeah. Because usually when like your tendon detach, like, you know how I rip my bicep or whatever, it's the tendon ripping off the bone.
Yeah.
So you figure joints, maybe that's, you know, the strong bone that's the part of it that makes
homework. Do some research, get back to me.
Anyway, if you want the good supplements, krill oil for your joints, that's a big one. In my opinion, in Jocko's opinion.
My opinion.
Iris's opinion.
Boom.
Sure. Yeah.
Man, essential.
So whether you're working out or whether you're actually working on the farm.
Yes.
Krill oil.
All up in it. That's a good one. But as far as supplements go, you know you get the good ones when you get On It ones. Anyway, if you want 10% off, onit.com/Jocko. My joints, here's the thing, like I'll bust out krill oil whenever it's applicable in my mind. And people be like, oh, you always talk about krill oil. No. But I feel like it's kind of always on my mind because, you know, like, okay, I'm talking to Greg, right, the other day. I don't think Greg's on the krill oils. We're talking.
He should be.
It's after where he should be.
Yeah.
We're talking for a while about stuff or whatever. So, it's time to go. We get up, Greg. He goes,
oh, no.
Like that.
Oh, no.
I understand. He didn't have to make that noise, but him making that noise is an indicator.
Full indicator.
That he's
Exactly
missing
right.
his krill oil.
Somebody order that man krill oil.
Exactly
ASAP.
right. That's exactly what I thought. I didn't say nothing, but that's what I thought.
Why didn't you say anything? That's kind of
Time and place, maybe. Maybe it was like,
well, he'll hear it on the
too
podcast.
new. It was too fresh.
So let's just make this just for this whole advertisement's for Greg Train. Greg Train gets
get on the krill oil.
Do it.
And you won't. And it's less about making that kind of noise or not making the noise. It's the feeling that compelled him to make the noise. That's the important part.
What if Greg Train wanted 10% off? What would he do then? I'm trying to help this along.
No, man. Okay. If he chose to get 10%, onit.com/Jocko. The /Jocko, that's the part that gives you the 10% off on all your stuff, even if you like protein powders and whatnot, which is good too, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, look on there, see what you know, because it depends your lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? Anyway,
It does.
you get it. You get my drift. Okay,
I think we do.
That's a good way to support yourself and the podcast, and ultimately everyone around you.
Actually, everyone in the world. Will be more supported.
Ultimately, yeah. Like the butterfly effect, you know, like us talking, it'll affect China later. Anyway, Amazon click-through, that's a good way to support too, by the way. So what that does is, you know, before you do your shopping, you click through the website, jockopodcast.com. There's a tab on the top, banner on the bottom. Thing is, with the banner, I'm only saying this because people like hit me up about it, and they'll say, "Hey, I don't see the banner. Your banner's not there on the website." If you have an ad blocker, which is a smart thing to have, by the way, just generally speaking, if you have an ad blocker, it'll block certain like things, and sometimes that banner will fall within the confines of things that the ad blocker blocks.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Well,
Anyway,
you know what? We could also change our whole attitude here and make the full focus of the podcast and the website and everything that we're doing to get people to get into to give us money.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that.
Right. So, like, now that I'm thinking and talking to you guys about it, I'm like, man, I should really go change that. But when I go home or when I go, you know, other places, I'm thinking about getting after it. I'm thinking about making videos, what have you. So, you know, I get reminded about. So, and maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing, but nonetheless, those are the facts as of right now. But it doesn't matter because there's a tab on the top. Like I said, click on that one. If you want to support, it takes 3 seconds. Small action. And that support that everyone's been giving, big reaction.
And somehow this supports China, you were saying?
It can ultimately,
Okay.
yes, it's the butterfly effect. Look into it.
Okay.
Look it up.
It's real. Yeah, it's real. You can subscribe to the podcast, and this is on any podcasting providing platform. Google Play, iTunes, of course, Stitcher.
Yeah.
All that.
You can write a review too, which I've read some live reviews on here of Jocko White Tea, but I might do that with the podcast because there's some really good ones there too. I was actually thinking of doing a Facebook Live and reading the comments on a picture that Joe Rogan posted of me, because there are some funny comments.
Yeah.
Some pro comedians out there listening to Joe Rogan, so they want to make fun of my head.
Yeah.
But they're worth reading.
You know, there was, remember that video that we made, actually, it might have been before the first podcast even. Maybe after. I don't know. Anyway, we made it, and it was about martial arts training.
Oh, yeah.
And what's the best martial arts and self-defense, all this stuff, right? So I revisited that, and this was a while ago. There's like there's over 1 million views on that.
Right.
So with views come comments, right?
Yeah.
So
you like that, don't you?
And typically, it's usually not very productive to spend much time in the comments section on YouTube, but a lot of views, a lot of comments. Let's see what and it's not like people who necessarily follow Jocko Podcast. That's the thing.
There's random people.
So you get a cool little variety of people in there. So yeah, there's some interesting ones in there. I didn't quote any or nothing or save any, but I'm just saying, generally speaking, it's interesting. Nonetheless, back to subscribing to the podcast.
Speaking of YouTube.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel. If you like the video version of this podcast, sometimes people know what you look like.
Yeah.
But a smaller percentage of people know what I look like.
Yeah.
And I'm not encouraging you to watch the video to see what I look like. I'm not saying that.
Echo doesn't look like what he sounds like.
You definitely
apparently.
look different than you sound.
Had you ever seen him before today?
I've seen pictures of you
okay.
online, and I was surprised when I did because you sounded sort of, well, no, I'm not going to say what you sounded like, but you didn't sound the way you look.
I've heard
We'll assume that's not
white
good.
hipster.
Yeah,
white hipster.
Something like that.
One guy said a mixed white and Latino, not hipster, not skater, I don't know, something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they got real specific, which is good, which is cool.
Yeah.
I dig it. But
Well, yeah, I guess it's because you have a weird background being a Hawaiian. What are you, half black, half white guy?
yeah, I mean, not to split hairs, but there's some Native American in there
And
too,
Native
on both
American.
sides.
But see, none of that
Melting
has
pot.
anything to do with the way you talk.
Yeah.
The way you talk
Or
is
look-
just the way you talk.
Yeah.
Well, it has something to do with the way you look.
Yeah, it does. I don't know why I said that, but growing up in Kauai and then living here and then, I don't know, talking to you all the time, all this stuff. It just jumbled me up, Anyway, back to the YouTube
If you want to
thing.
see what he looks like, you can check him out.
If you're
on
interested
YouTube.
in something like that, if that interests you, subscribing to the YouTube channel might facilitate
Because
that.
conversely, I look like what people
Exactly.
think I'm going to look like.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I look like.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Exactly true. So yeah, the YouTube also, my looks aside, what we do now is, and we've been doing this for a little bit, is we'll take out little excerpts of the podcast, little lessons, and we'll put them on there as well, so you can share them. It's easier than sharing the whole podcast and having people receive it, because you can't just listen to 2.5 hours on a whim,
No.
But 3
you
minutes.
actually have to kind of schedule that.
You got to schedule it. Yes, exactly right.
3 minutes, though? No schedule
No-
required.
no schedule.
Boom.
Yeah.
Press play.
Right now.
Yeah.
Lesson learned, boom.
Yeah.
Individual lesson.
Life
So-
improved. Good to go.
Yep.
Rock
check.
and roll.
Yes, exactly. So that's really the goal there. And, I got to be honest, like, people have said, I always say this, people have been asking me. It's one person. No,
Yeah.
in my case, people have been saying, like, that's good to have those ones. Because some people, they don't listen to the podcast like the first day, They're like how you said, they kind of got a schedule.
Well,
it.
even
It's my Friday.
somebody, we got a lot of commuters. A lot
Yeah.
of people listen to this car.
Yeah.
But, half an hour commute, it takes you, a few days to hear the whole podcast, but
Yeah.
there might have been a little nugget you needed for work that Monday.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people, they'll say, that helped me that day. Like the college one that you talk about,
Yeah.
like how to approach college.
Yeah.
Legit. Anyway,
Don't
so
you wish you had that when you approached college?
I wish I had all of this really when I approached anything in life really. But yes, the college, yes. So yeah, subscribe to the YouTube, man. That's a good one. That's a good way to support. And that's another way to support yourself in a way, kind of indirectly. And then if you wear T-shirts at any point, and you want to represent a little bit, we got some cool T-shirts, I think. You think?
I think they're pretty cool.
Approved?
They are approved, quite literally.
All approved
And
stuff.
there's a new T-shirt out, which you are wearing at this time.
I like it.
It's real complex.
Yeah.
It's black and it says "Get After It" on it.
Amen. Technically, it's a charcoal heather, but
Fashion guy.
amen. It is what it is, and there's usually more to them than kind of meets the eye. We call that layers. In the philosophical sense. But yeah, if you want to support that way, that's a good way, and you get a shirt that you can wear. Very wearable. That's the thing. They're not the cheap ballpark giveaway shirts. They're like good, very wearable. Multiple occasions, people say it's my favorite shirt to wear because of the fit.
People are telling you that.
People every single day, all day. Yeah, I'm telling you. Women's stuff on their shirts, patches, rash guards. I'm going to put out a new rash guard here pretty soon. Not that that's like supposed to get everyone fired up or nothing like that. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah, it's good. The hoodies are on there as well. And, if you like any of this stuff, I'd say just look at it. If you choose to support, if you feel like supporting, you feel like representing, go ahead and get something.
It's a good way to support you.
Yep. And also, this, what I'm about to tell you here, could very well border on essential. Now, it's like one of those things where, okay, so psychological warfare. I'm going to go into it. So, you know how, like, let's say you're getting after it, Iris is getting after it, I'm getting after it. I start taking krill oil, Iris starts taking krill oil, Jocko is not taking krill oil. Maybe someone else comes in, they start getting after it, meanwhile, you're not taking the krill oil. We're kind of ahead of you, You see what I'm
Getting
saying?
a little soft, Jocko.
You understand what I'm saying? No, conceptually, that's a big deal. So, psychological warfare, what that does is, psychological warfare is an album with tracks, with Jocko on there, put simply, Jocko on there, helping you through any moments of weakness that you may have on your getting after it journey. Waking up early in the morning every day, sleeping on the diet, procrastinating, all these things. Yeah, big deal. So,
if you think about just the procrastination one.
Yeah.
Procrastination is one of those things. It's a massive problem with people, right? People all over the world have a massive problem with procrastination. Think of how easy it is to overcome that.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing to overcome. Psychological warfare.
Yeah.
You just go do what you're procrastinating, and it's already, you won. It's not like you have to work to get over procrastination. You just crush it. Just go.
It's back the other day or last week, whatever, when I said, like, you got to switch it to manual. And for procrastination, you just got to switch it to manual for like literally 2 seconds.
Yeah.
1, 2, boom, and then you do it.
Because once you're starting.
Right, yeah, you're doing it.
Yeah.
You are no longer procrastinating.
Yeah.
By its definition.
What an easy battle to win, and what a battle that so many people face and lose.
Bro, it's one of those psychological things that you kind of got to declare war on, and in that case, you're engaging in psychological warfare. Nonetheless, this is a good way to... So back to my point about when everyone starts getting after it and you're not. So I don't want to feel that. Like, everyone's like, oh, psychological warfare, because you can't listen to it and like, hey, I don't want to wake up. I want to press the snooze. You can't listen to wake up, one of the first tracks or whatever. You can't listen to that and then not wake up. You can't. You won't be able to face yourself. It's like one of those things it's like that strong. So let's say everyone's doing that. You're kind of left behind if you're not. That's how I feel. Like, if I'm not doing it, I'll do it. Even if I feel like working out, I'll still listen to it.
Give you a little kick.
Anyway, psychological warfare. Jocko Willink.
I was looking at an audiobook the other day. It's still #1, by the way. Man, #1 on spoken word on iTunes.
Wow.
See? Everyone's getting on it. Yeah, man.
It's been that way since it came out.
So
everyone that you're telling to get after it, they're getting after it.
That's exactly right. That's part of my point right there. Like, you got to do it.
Also, on when you're clicking through Amazon, you can also get Jocko white tea. And here's the bottom line: we all need to deadlift more.
Yes.
All right.
Sure.
Don't play around. If you order your Jocko white tea, you're going to boost your deadlift to approximately 8,000 pounds. And I was thinking about this the other day. You think 8,000 pounds is heavy? It's in another, unit of measurement. It's 4 tons, bro.
Yeah, I think that's heavy.
That's good, man. Yeah. That's really good. You want to do that. Way the Warrior Kid. By the way, it's not even pre-order anymore because it comes out May 2nd, right? So it's coming out soon. Boom. Order it now and save a child, smash a bully, save yourself, smash pull-ups. That's the overall messaging.
Bro, I was at the Padre game yesterday, and so there's a playground there, and the kids are just kind of running amok, you know. Yeah. And a lot of times there's parents in there, and there's this one kid. He was big.
Oh,
and he had that look on his face. I'm not saying he was a bully, but he's, you know, walking around. He was like grabbing another kid. I don't know if it was his brother. I don't know if he was bullying him or helping him or whatever. But you could tell, like, in all the little kids' face, because, you know, there's some people, they're like, there's a line for this little thing that kids get on. It's like it's not a merry-go-round. It's a thing you sit in, and so some kids are real assertive. They'll be like, oh, it's my turn, cut in the line, not even realizing there's a line or whatever. Then there's some kids, they'll stand in line and they'll just sort of let people just cut.
Right.
And then there's some kids who are like, oh, wait, and they'll explain there's a line, you know, so you can see the different levels.
There's different people out there.
You know, yeah, so like something like this, that's going to turn you into, you know, the person who's, you know, it's kind of like the leader kid.
Going to turn you into the leader. It sounds like Kenny Williamson might have been out there. Kenny Williams is a bully.
Potentially.
Now, interestingly, I'm doing there's a lot of, I asked questions, who should read the audio for this, right? Because if I was thinking I would just read the whole thing, then some people said, hey, you know, Jocko, you're not a kid, and it's a kid's voice. It's in the first person of a kid's voice. Kid's named Mark. So I couldn't read the kid's part. I decided, you know what? I'm not going to read the whole book. I'm not going to read the kid's part. But there's a character in there named Uncle Jake.
Sure.
Now, Uncle Jake, he was a SEAL.
Sure.
And he's going to come and help out. And I decided maybe I could read Uncle Jake parts. So I did.
Seems like
and then we got a kid reading the kid's part, and I think you all find out who that is, and I think there'll be some layers behind that part even. Yes. So, yeah, Way of the Warrior Kid. You can order that now. You can also get Discipline Equals Freedom. Field Manual is coming out. What's a field manual? It's something that allows you to take information and put it into action. That's what the Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual is going to do. Comes out October 17th. Might seem like that's a long ways away, but so did May 2nd, right?
Yeah.
But this thing's coming out around the corner. So the Field Manual, it's basically this podcast in a book. You can't bring this podcast into the field with you. I guess you can put it on your headphones. I guess maybe you can. But sometimes you need visual cues.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. The thoughts, the things from the podcast, but then it also has very specific additional information like workouts, sleep strategies, martial arts, you know, everything that's cool in the world. It's all in the book.
Yep.
So you can do that. Extreme Ownership. You can, you know, by the way, why is Extreme Ownership still one of the top books on Amazon and iTunes and Audible a year and a half after it came out? Why is that? Is it because of the big advertising campaign that we did? No, it's not because of that. It's purely because of word of mouth. So everyone that's listening to this right now that's buying it for other people and spreading the word, it's because of you. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Extreme Ownership, Amazon. Why is it not out on paperback yet? Do you want to know why?
Yeah.
You know why?
Yeah.
It's not out on paperback because people ask me, why isn't it on paperback? It's not out on paperback yet because books come out on paperback when they aren't selling the hardcover anymore. They re-release a cheaper version. Here it is in paperback. Now it's only $9.95. They haven't done that with our book yet. Why? People still want the hardcover. It's still selling. And the reason for that is because it works, because people get a lot out of it. So if you don't have Extreme Ownership, or if someone that you know doesn't have Extreme Ownership, it's just like they don't have krill oil. Tell Greg Train he needs krill oil. Tell your subordinate leader or your superior leader or members of your team.
Yeah.
Tell them, hey, look, man, I'm going to get you a little something here for it to help you out.
Yeah.
Extreme Ownership. And if you need some more Extreme Ownership at your team, company, contact, whatever, you can contact our company, Echelon Front. Leif, Babin, myself, Dave Burke, JP Donnell, Leadership and Management Consultants. If you want to bring us on board, contact us, info@echelonfront.com. And also, along the same vein, if you don't know, we have the muster coming up, number 002, in New York City at the Marriott Grand Marquis. Come get your leadership on. You will become a better leader, period. Leif's going to be there. JP is going to be there. Dave Burke is going to be there. Well, I'm going to be there. Echo Charles is going to be there. And a ton of people that listen to this podcast and that we've worked with are going to be there. Come and get it. We'll see you there. And until we do get to the muster, if you want to communicate with us, you can find us cruising on the interwebs. Now, first of all, we're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. You can also find us on the Facebook if you can find us there. So, Iris.
Yes.
For Facebook, where are you at?
You can follow my farm on Primeval Gardens on Facebook and Instagram. And then I'm on Twitter at only Iris Gardner.